I think of a black man, characteristics come to mind are strong, independent, um, takes care of their kids. Um, that's about it.
Oh, when I think of a black man, I think of, athletic, strong, like you said, independent, more kind of family oriented, things along those lines.
When I think of a black man, I think of somebody with a lot of willpower, a lot of will to overcome adversity, and strong physically, mentally, and emotionally.
I think that a black man is someone who is strong and works hard for what he wants.
Characteristics come to mind when I think of a black male. Definitely hard worker, a hustler, natural born hustler, ambitious person, but definitely someone with potential in this world. But most of the chips are all stacked against us, but I definitely see potential in all black males.
When I think of a black man, characteristics come to mind. Um, Probably the first one I think of is trouble. Just due to the conditions that a lot of us are put under, both physically, where we're from, as well as mentally, what society makes us believe we should be. So it'll probably be the first one I think of. After that, I'd probably say we are strong when we want to be. I grew up in a house where my dad was like my main source of, I guess, inspiration and stuff like that. So, watching him, be the head of the household and push me, kind of want to say pressure, because a lot of times I didn't want to do some of the stuff that he made me do. But it helped me to become a better person, a young black man myself. And I see in myself and in the people I associate with that strength that a lot of people tend to overlook when they think about us. Yeah.
When I think of a black man, a few characteristics that come to mind is a lot of black men I feel are flashy. To a certain extent, they wanna what's the word? Not show off, but like they want people to know that they are something. Like they made it if they have, I think that they are strong. They know they're good providers for their families, and yeah.
Characteristic that comes to mind when I think about a black man is, one of them is being misunderstood. Going off of kind of what you said trouble based on the environments that we are in. I think sometimes the trouble or stereotypes that get put upon us by other people are because I feel like that we are misunderstood. A lot of the times, you can take cases such as Trayvon Martin, for example. Just a young black man coming back from the gas station with Skittles and his hoodie up. Automatically they see a black man in the hood and they think that he might be trying to rob a neighborhood or something like that. What was the man who was choked in New York? Eric Garner.
Yeah.
Just a man sitting there on the street corner. The police attacked him thinking that he was, I think they called him a suspect in something, in a robbery of that store.
Was
selling illegal drugs. Wasn't doing any of that, but just because he was a black man on a street corner in the area where they thought it had happened at, they thought that he was probably had something to do with the whole the drug selling and stuff like that. So I just feel like we're misunderstood. And then the other thing I think a characteristic I would think about with black men is I say pride. I definitely think sometimes we don't have it all the time because we think about all the stereotypes that get put onto us. But the fact that we keep persevering, the fact that we have a lot of young black men in school trying to mentor other young black men, the fact that we have some fathers in the household that are trying to raise young black men into the men that they're supposed to be, it shows how much pride that you have in yourself and in your race, and pride in what you know that you can do and change as far as the stereotypes are considered for black men. So I think pride and being misunderstood are the two characteristics for me.
I think when society looks at black men, they look at us as animals, you know, just some brutal, dumb savages pretty much. And no, I don't agree with this because, I mean, we're not dumb, we're not animals, we're not savages, we're not gorillas, we're not monkeys. I mean, we're humans, just like everybody else.
I feel that the depiction of black men is really stereotypical. You see them either being portrayed as thugs or, you know, what the media has them depicted as, and you never really see them in positions that they can be in, like high-paying positions or I guess powerful positions. So I don't necessarily agree with how often they're portrayed as a negative, in a negative way.
I think they view us as basically still slaves in a way, and you know, we all just want to just go around just trying to, I guess, be athletic or you know, just I don't know, it's a lot.
Society depicts us as all types of things.
Truthfully.
Dangerous. Definitely dangerous. I know from my personal experience, I am a suburban kid. But it's been plenty of times, you know, I went to private school, been plenty of times where I've been seen as a threat or somebody to keep an eye on. Perfect example was one time when we were younger, we went to the bowling alley, not too far from where we live. And we went with our two white friends, and we had just finished bowling. So we were just kind of chilling, just finished our pizza, and our two white friends kind of running around, being rowdy, whatnot. What's it called? Even one of them was like, hey, we should steal a tip jar, blah, blah. And we just sitting there looking at each other like, this is stupid. And this old white lady at the
Concession
snack bar, concession stand. She's over there, are you guys gonna bowl or what? Like, we're just sitting here waiting for a ride. So, well, you guys gotta go, because you and your buddy there are causing problems. So we're looking at each other like, what the hell did we do? You know, we got kicked out, our two white friends came out, like, what happened? And that lady just kicked us out. I mean, like I said, we're just sitting there chilling. I don't know how we were causing problems, but this is, you know, like I said, for two suburban black kids, that's, you know, we weren't a threat to anybody. Most of the time, we're not a threat to anybody. And the fact that society depicts us like that is kind of, it's hurtful. It is, because, you know, like most human beings, we have no intention of bothering anyone. You know, we just want to live comfortably like everybody else. But for some reason, society makes us enemies. So
I think society depicts black men as dangerous a lot of times, more dangerous than other cultures, as not good leaders. And I think and I disagree with it because I know plenty of great black leaders, and I think it's more social media creating that stereotype.
I think they still view us as property, and they're going to do what they want towards us and say what they want towards us. Just like with our president, they treat him just like he's still our property, or he doesn't have much say-so, and that shouldn't be the correct depiction.
Society definitely depicts black males in a negative image. We're classified as thugs or aggressive alpha males who have a lot of ego, but I definitely think that's something that's negative, and it's not the full description of black males. Again, black males and white males, what are the main difference between us two? Just the skin tone maybe, and just the way we're raised. But at the end of the day, all males have the same, we have the same personas, and we have the same kind of vibe that we have with each other, such as like a caregiver. So I definitely don't like the negative images of what's spewed on TV, such as the negative views of abusers or thug. It's just something that I don't like, and it just gives people the wrong persona of who we are as people.
My relationships with other black men are real good. I have a lot of close friends that that I would do about anything for her, and I'm sure it's vice versa. And I think it's because of we share a bond that that we understand each other, you know.
I think my relationship with other black men, that's an interesting question. I say it's both ways, positive and negative. I would say positive because when I see another black man, I think it's somebody who's just like me, who has a lot of pride in himself but is misunderstood. That stereotypes can kind of brand as being unintelligent or evil or only just athletic and has nothing else to offer society other than like bouncing a basketball or just doing music and stuff like that. So I kind of take pride in seeing another black man and seeing that it's somebody who's really in my shoes and we can resonate with that. At the same time, my relationship with black men sometimes can be negative. Not that I don't like my race or anything like that, I love it, but sometimes, even myself included, I look in the mirror and look around at other black men and I think about like, what am I doing or what are these other black men doing that's really kind of pulling us down and not doing anything to really help us. When we go to parties and stuff like that, you see other black men fighting over something stupid and then somebody gets shot or start throwing hands and they start fighting, or maybe being out by the cab and stuff like that, seeing black men just like, hey girl, like you got a big butt, come over here and holler, stuff like that. Then I kind of have a negative feeling towards us as black men, because it's like we're already in this hole and we're already depicted as these unintelligent and dangerous people. But sometimes I feel like we kind of fit that stereotype, and I don't know if that's necessarily our fault. Maybe it's a mental thing that's been ingrained into us, brainwashing. But when I just see that, and I slip up and do stuff too when I think about it, it's like, oh, that didn't help anybody see any better light to black men at all. So it kind of goes both ways. So that would be my relationship with black men.
To be honest, I'm kind of new with the involvement of black guys, black men. When I grew up, I was like, one of 2 or 3 black people in a class. So I decided to come to this school at North Carolina A&T because it's HBCU. So when I first got here, I mean, I was a little rough around the edges. I didn't really know how to communicate. I didn't really know how to talk to them. So it is a difference. But as I, got involved in the track team, as I got involved in school, and it just came more naturally.
I usually am, when I have another black man that I'm either friends with or anything like that, we can have a, damn it, I don't know how to question or phrase this. Usually with another black male, when we're in some kind of friendship or anything like that, it's like any other friendship, but I feel a lot of times that there's a lot of, I guess, competition with certain things. I don't necessarily believe that there has to be, and I feel like a lot of times they try to prove themselves when they don't have to necessarily, and it can be motivational when they can be really motivational when they're your friend, or they can kind of cause tension.
More or less the same thing. I mean, I was lucky to come up with a lot of positive influence. I have a whole lot of uncles and older cousins and family friends and stuff like that showed me how to be, I don't want to say the right kind, but show me how to be present myself in a positive light as a black man with so much negativity around, and show me how to carry myself in the society that we grow up in, where we're seen like the bad guys, like you were talking about. So I see a lot of positivity in other black men, a lot of potential that we oftentimes fail to tap into, unfortunately. But in general, I mean, I'm proud to be a black man. I wouldn't want to be anything else. And you know, I love my brothers and all that stuff. So, yeah.
My relationship with most black men, I tend to get along with more of them than I would do with anybody of the other race. But um, I guess I feel like whenever I'm out with more of my black friends, I feel like we're being more targeted by, you know, other people rather than if I was with my white friends, you know, I would be, you know, probably stand out a little bit more, but I wouldn't be as targeted as I would be with my black friends.
Well, my relationship with black males is, well, I view us as brothers, because we're all at the end of the day, we're all running the same race. We all want to attain the same goals, success, whatever that means to each individual. So I believe whenever we're amongst one another, I definitely think there's that relatability of we're going to face the same struggles in this world. So there's a kind of a kinship between us. And though I would love us to all really unite as one, but it's hard for us to really unite because there's a lot of division within the black community, and it's so hard for black people to really be happy for one another's success. But I think my relationship with black males is more of a brothership. I try my best just to try to build some type of bond because I know we're all going to face the same struggles. Even though we're on the same race, we're all going to face the same struggles. We have different races. I'm sorry. We have different races, but we're all facing the same struggles in those races.
I have good relationships with black men. I feel like we're real competitive with each other, but that's the only thing. Other than that, we're pretty good, pretty, I don't know how to explain it. If we know each other, we're fine. If we don't, it's probably different.
Be some problem. I bet the media portrays black men getting along with black men as we're always killing each other, we're always fighting, we're always shooting, this, that, and third. But from my experiences, that is definitely not the case. I mean, if you don't know somebody, you talk to them, and then if you don't like them, you don't like them. But it's just not off the jump. Yo, where you from? Oh, you from West Coast, on whatever. That's not the case at all. It's just like anybody.
I feel like relationships between black men and the media is that they always fighting each other, having a conflict. And anytime they not having a conflict, it's because they resonating over something like drugs and money and stuff like that. I feel like they show black men only showing companionship where like they might be doing a drug drop or going out to try and do some get rich quick scheme. But then at the same time, I feel like in the media, let's say you have a movie about two young black college kids and they can't be together, like trying to better each other. They're trying to be like, who's the best black kid in the class? I'm better than you, you're better than me. They can't just be on the same level and try to bring each other up. So I feel like the media tries to show us our relationships as we're tearing each other down, that we shouldn't be lifting each other up. And that's powerful because I feel like sometimes that transfers into reality and actual world, that we do sometimes tear each other down. I don't really have anything else to say on that.
And I mean, as far as not even just on the screen, like even in our music,
True.
a lot of the songs we listen to, it's always, I'm shooting niggas, I'm killing niggas, blah, blah, blah. It puts a bad taste in your mouth about the relationship between black men because, I understand that some people do come up in those conditions, but we're not all out to get each other. And unfortunately, a lot of our young black people, young black men listen to this music and think, they see another black dude looking at him from across the room and think, yo, he wants beef. Like, we're going to have to fight this out. We're going to have to go to war, something like that. When it could just turn out homie having to be looking at his direction at the same time. So, media influence, especially, I think a lot of times the music plays a bigger part than even the TV, because it's so popular now, that it feeds us negativity that we don't need. We're not all against each other.
Subconsciously, you don't even realize you're getting fed it.
Exactly.
In the media, I feel like black men relationship is portrayed as chauvinistic, I think that we are portrayed as disrespectful a lot.
I definitely feel that like when you or whether you're watching TV or a movie or anything like that, or on the news, you definitely see that you get a feeling that it's blackmail against blackmail a lot of times. You don't see the, I guess, bonding that they tend to have with one another, and it makes it as if they are against each other a lot of times, or that there is no real kind of connection beyond certain things. So that makes it, again, really skewed and not accurate as to what it really is.
Common misconceptions about black men. We're only good for sports and music. While a lot of us are very good at that, and that is a lot of, well, I don't even want to say a lot, because there's a lot less that succeed at that than people would think. But we have some very intelligent black men that are very capable and able to make a change in all facets of life. You know, I'm an engineer. I know, you know, artists. I know writers, people who aspire to be directors, all types of stuff. And it's just unfortunate that we're seen as only good for one thing. If we're not rapping or shooting hoops, then we're out there trying to hustle or something like that. Another, and it's hard to call this a misconception because it is kind of true, but that we're always disrespectful. You know, we don't respect elders, authority, women, and that is the case a lot of the time. But we're not like savages like we're portrayed to be.
Kind of with that, I wouldn't use that only because I feel like everybody. I feel like white people.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
yeah,
white people call their mothers like bitches and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, I seen that shit
all the time.
I
Like,
seen that shit.
they just don't get called out for
Yeah,
it.
but like that video that came out not too long ago about that white lady walking down the street and they were recording all the people hollering at her.
True.
And the only men they kept in the video was black men, and it was like, oh well, it was too much background noise for us to put anybody else in there. Like that's fucking bullshit. Like
Very true.
they make it seem like we're just savages basically, and that's not the case. It's not true. I think that's probably the one that bothers me the most, because I don't want to be seen that way, you know. So.
What are common misconceptions about black males? That I'm uneducated and that I don't know how to speak English, or he's aggressive, he's cocky, arrogant, he's a drug dealer, he comes from a low-income home. So I can go so many ways with this one. There's a lot of common misconceptions about black males. There's the one, we're lazy, we don't want to work, we just want to drink, want to smoke weed, and all that. There's so many.
I think our common misperception as black men is that we like always disrespect other black women, or we're after, I guess, white girls or whatever, and that's how I feel. So.
One major common misconception is that all black men are intimidating, or that they tend to give off a very aggressive or presence, which is not accurate at all. I think another misconception is that people tend to believe, because of, you know, whether it's a movie or the news or anything, that a lot of times black men don't make good fathers, and I think that's something that really, I mean, yes, it does happen, but it's not necessarily something that is like not every black male is going to grow up to be a bad father or a bad person in general. And I think that's really sad, because I don't think that the great black fathers who do an amazing job at being fathers are portrayed enough. And I think that you only get to see, again, the negative aspects of, you know, what a black male may do or may not do.
I feel like a common misconception about black men is that if we're not doing something that involves athletics, then if we're put in a position of leadership, then it's not going to work. If we're not doing anything that's not involving athletic, running fast, jumping high, then it's not going to work.
I think a common misconception of black men is that we disrespectful to our women, our own women, and yeah, I think that's a big one.
I think that a common misconception of black men is that we're, I guess you could say, ruffians, or the aggressors in society, rather than somebody that could be sensitive, have emotions, or have feelings just like any other race in society.
I think black men value the most as far as people would be athletes and entertainers. And I could be wrong, but it's just based on what I've seen. And I think like you have a lot of young black men who always want to be rappers and athletes. I do rap music myself. Who want to be rappers, athletes, play basketball, football. Even that, I'll ask my cousins. I got a young cousin, and his mom asked him who he wants to be when he grows up, and he said 2 Chainz. Like 6 years old. Like, why you want to be 2 Chainz? Why can't you be like a doctor or something like that? But yeah, as far as who they value the most, as far as like, I see it as like maybe who they idolize the most would be like I was saying, athletes and entertainers. Not only, I say that only because when you look back in the past, it was hard for young black people to get out of their neighborhoods and impoverished neighborhoods because they didn't have a lot of schooling and books in those areas. So the way for them to get out was through athletics and music and entertainment. And I think that's carried over into this era of 2014, even though that's still not the case. But you know, when stuff is ingrained into history and things such as that, it's easy for that to stay the mainstream in the course that people take. So I feel like that's who we value as far as like idolization and stuff like that. Now you were saying,
I think black men value family a lot. Like a lot of the things that we do, you know, you always hear young black men talking about, you know, when I make it, I'm gonna buy my mom a house. I'm gonna buy my brothers a car, blah blah.
for real.
And you know, it's not that, you know, they just saying that, you know, because it sounds good. You know, they honestly, you know, that's who you came up with. That's who raised you. That's who brought you into this world to help you get through life. And so family is very, very important to us as black men. I know a lot of us came up with a whole bunch of sisters and brothers. You know, they may not be biological family, but you know, that's who you consider your people. And you know, I know a lot of us would do whatever it takes to make sure that we're being we're living healthily. You know, we're safe, we're comfortable. So I'd say black men value family more than anything else, or at least that's up there.
I definitely think that they value family the most, and people that they know are loyal to them and people that they trust. They are very protective over their family and people that they're really close with. I think a lot of the times they go above and beyond to do for their families, and it really shows that they can be really caring and compassionate towards people who have earned their trust, people that they truly do care about.
Black men value their fathers the most. Black men with fathers figures or father figures in or fathers in their lives, I feel like they value their father most, because you hear a lot of the times about people who don't have fathers, or you know, the ones that grew up with just their mother, this, that, and the third. But when they do have a father figure in their life, and they're always hearing the stories about them not having father, or hearing stories about somebody not having a dad, they feel lucky that they actually have a dad who is in their life.
people with money and power. Definitely. Because that's something we're lacking. I mean, it's changed now, but we definitely value the people that are on the hierarchy on the tax bracket. Definitely. Most definitely.
Black men, they value most probably their father. Because me personally, I value what my father did, and the things he overcame in life, and I try to model after that. And, I kind of want to do stuff like him when I get older.
I agree. I think they value their fathers the most, but the problem is a lot of people don't have fathers to value, so they may look up to other black men that they're around, and that could be a bad thing because they're not necessarily trying to influence them. They're just regular black men. But since they don't have a father figure, they're just looking up to the nearest black person in their life, the nearest black man. And in that case, things might go wrong.
I think a lot of young black men value the people they see making money, rich people like rappers, ball players, people of that sort. But I think as you get older, I think they want more of a family, like, you know, when they realize, like, realistically, how life, how life can be, you know.
I think black women, they value black men the most, and you just go ahead.
I think black women value black men the most also. I feel like it just takes a while. It takes a lot of trust and things of that nature, being comfortable around them for them to actually value them. It doesn't come naturally off the back though.
Black women, for the most part. Good black men. I think black women. So, I feel like a black woman most of the time wants a black man, but they want a good black man, you know. And I feel like the reason that a lot of black women date outside the race because they haven't found a good one, you know. So I think initially they want a good black man.
Black women. Black women value us more than we value ourselves. That's not even a question. You know, it's been times where I've just been all types of just down on myself, and I ain't never gonna be shit, blah, blah, blah. You know, the world's out to get me. And it's been people, you know, not even just my mom, my grandma, my close friends. It's been people that I don't even know like that. You know, I'll be on Twitter on a rant just about how I just feel like shit. People I don't even know, you know, keep your head up, be successful, you know, we're with you whether you know it or not. And even when, you know, black men are going at it with each other, you know, the black women are right there like, you know, don't do that. You know, they keep our heads on straight because we trip a lot of the time. We definitely trip. And we definitely lose sight of our own value and our own worth. And yeah, black women just keep us straight. They're amazing.
I'd have to agree with that. I just kind of find that ironic at the same time though, cause even though black, I was about to say, if you ask me who black men kind of, I don't want to say value the least, but black men definitely don't show the same type of value to black women at all.
No, it's
at
sad,
all.
yeah.
So it's very sad. I was just sitting there thinking like, that's very ironic. Because I agree with you 100% that black women value black men the most, but black men do not value black women as well as they should. They're not the smallest on the totem pole by any means, but it's not equal at all. So that's what I have to say for that.
I guess I can say, sheesh. That's you stumped me with that one. I think I would say maybe corporate. No, they don't. I guess black females probably value black men the most because they know our potential. They know we're kings. So I think at the end of the day, they are the ones that hold us down the most out of everyone. Even though we probably don't treat them the way we're supposed to treat them, or the way that we should treat them. But say black females treat us the best.
Other black men, other black people, black women, I think that a lot of the times, definitely younger black men look up to older guys because they set an example for what they can become and what they shouldn't become. And I think that that's really important to younger black men, and that's why they probably look up to them so much. And I think just in general that other black people tend to look up to them more.
I feel like it's a mixture between black women and black men, older black men. I feel like black women value black men because they feel like, once they get them a good black man, then they're probably going to try and hold on to him for long because they know that they feel like they're very seldom. But as far as black men, I feel like when you find a older black man who's looking at a younger black man and the younger black man is doing what he needs to do and doing all the right things in life, he values him because he knows that this is our future. So he's leaning more towards him.
Chill out. As far as devalues black men the most, I would say old white men. I wouldn't say young white men because there's a lot of young white men and young black men that are very cool with each other and they can resonate. But I would definitely say old white men as far as maybe 35, 40 and up. Because of the era that they grew up in and because that they kind of want to hold on to the aspect that they still a majority. It's a fact that white people in America are not the majority anymore. They're slowly matriculating down the totem pole. And Hispanics, black people, even Asians, minorities are becoming the majority. But older white men have the most power. And when you have power, you don't want to let go of that. And you definitely don't want to give power to the people that you saw before as ants and slaves beneath you. So you definitely don't want to acknowledge them. So what better way to not acknowledge them to devalue their existence as human beings? So I feel like old white men devalue black men the most.
I feel like our society in general just kind of puts black men at the bottom of the totem pole. While there are a lot of people who respect us as people more than we have been in the past, so should some shit go down with black men, society's not gonna be so quick to jump to our age,
That's very true.
They want to shy away as opposed to, something happens to say like a white kid the same age, blah blah blah, and it's how sad,
True.
And then something happens to one of us, and it's like, well, there go another one, like.
And I'll piggyback off of that. People get in trouble sometimes, and you can try and get off on something. You probably gonna throw that. Say it was a black person that did. Remember the lady? She drowned 2 of her kids and then went to Disney World and said that I think 1 or 2 black men had stole her car and drove off with her kids. And the police looking for these missing kids that she can't find while she in Disney World. Whole time she drowned them in her minivan and she out chilling on Space Mountain and whatever. But she put it on 2 black men because we are devalued in the society, like you said. People would believe that.
That's common as fuck.
So because we are devalued, it's easier to throw us under the bus when you have problems or something that you did wrong. And because we're so devalued, it's taken in so quickly without a thought. Oh, dude, probably was 2 black men. There you go.
It's the niggas.
So I guess, society. I can agree with society too.
People who devalue, I think the main people who devalue black men the most would have to be anyone who doesn't understand what it is to be a black male, or anyone who only goes by what they've seen or heard, and hasn't really taken the time to try to be compassionate.
Again, I think it's a double-edged sword for that question too. I think when it comes to devaluing black men, you have your richer white male, and then you have your trailer park male. I feel like on one aspect, it's your trailer park man. He doesn't really know a whole lot about really anything for an all-purpose sense. Trailer trash white male. Then you have your white guy who's a millionaire and the CEO of a company, and he's just well, I don't understand why, if I can do it, I don't understand why anybody can't do it. black or white, and it's just you don't know the challenges and stuff that we have to deal with in order to get there. But I feel like, you're just your low class white male and your upper class white male are two people that devalue black men the most.
So once again, the media. I'd say the media just constantly throws us these images of black males, of what we are and who we are. Once you constantly throw these images at people, they'll start believing it. So I mean, it works hand in hand. The media and ourselves is a constant cycle. But I didn't believe the media has a grasp on us right now.
I feel like the media devalues black men the most, because you always see like these stories on like Sports Center or whatever about how this kid grew up without his dad and single mom, and how he feels like he doesn't need like his father and all this stuff, and you see all this stuff influencing like the next generation of kids, and they end up being in the same position that their fathers were in.
In America, I would say white people, to be honest. Not in general, not white people in general, but a lot of white people that view us as how the media portrays us, and don't get to know the real person.
I feel like in a way, black men can kind of devalue themselves, but it's not the general population. It's the specific some small minorities, I guess you could say, of black men. The people that kill each other and rob and stuff like that, they devalue what it means to be a black man, because it's not all like that. So if those small people are doing that, it devalues the whole general population of being a black man.
As a black man, you are not allowed to be, allowed to be overtly or externally emotional. We're taught to suppress that, keep a stone face no matter what. We can't be happy, we can't be sad. The only thing we can show is being angry.
You so damn happy.
Exactly, You smile and people want to fight you. Like, wow.
Dang, I got an A on my test.
You know what I'm saying? And I know this, like me personally, I struggle with the same thing. Somebody say, yo, what's wrong? I be having a bad day. Nothing. Ain't nothing ever wrong. I could break my arm. Yo, you good? Yeah, fine. Like, we're just not, cause that's what we believe is, being a man, being strong and all that stuff. Can nothing fade us? Can nothing affect us? And it's really crippling to our relationships with people. My mother yells at me for it all the time. She can, obviously it's my mama, she can tell something's wrong with me. She's always yelling at me, why don't you ever talk to me, blah, blah. I can't do it. It's really hard to do. I know I should, but just doing it for suppressing things for so long, like so many of us do, it's really hard to do. And when we do express ourselves, people come at us for it. And so being expressing yourself out in the open is just, I guess, a no-go for black men.
As a black male, I definitely feel as if it's a lot harder to express yourself without getting quick judgment and a lot of ignorant questions. Over time, it's gotten a little easier because it comes from you being confident enough to just be comfortable with, everything that comes with being a black man. And when it comes to other people's reactions to things that you do differently, or how you are, that tends to be the difficult part, because you feel like you have to explain yourself, and you feel like as if you're completely ostracized for something that shouldn't even be that big of a deal, whether it's your hair, how it grows, or whatever it looks like, whether it's something as trivial as getting ashy or anything like that. It's definitely something that you have to take time in order to get comfortable with yourself first before you can truly feel as if you can express yourself.
How do I express myself? I try to be more open with people. I try to show them, tell them how I feel, and express my emotions a lot more just tell them how I feel. You know, life is short, yo. Just trying to tell people how I feel.
No, I don't feel like you can express yourself without judgment, because people gonna look at you probably as like sensitive or emotional or something like that. But so you gotta kind of cover it up and make it seem like you're stronger than that, and things of that nature.
I don't think you can express yourself freely. I think you have to be real cognizant of how you express yourself. But how I express myself is I just pretty much run track and go to the gym. I mean, that's all the real expression I need.
Yeah, I'm going with the same with both of them. I feel like you can't express yourself without being judged. You know, that's why.
I think no. I don't think as a black man, I don't think you can express yourself openly because I think honest opinions can be taken as hate or disrespect. But a lot of times it's just opinions, and everybody has their own opinion. For example, this isn't me personally, but if a black man feels like, I don't know, like, if a black man feels like the police are treating us wrong, and if we voice that opinion, it could be taken as we hate the police or, you know, something like that.
Yeah, hypermasculinity is terrible for black men.
All it does is just create more type of violence and tension.
I think we take hypermasculinity harder than men of any other race.
Oh, definitely.
Because, you know, for so long, we haven't been allowed to be men.
On top.
You know, we haven't been allowed to be men, period. You know, we've always been told what we can and can't, or what we can't do, not even what we can and can't do, what we can't do and how men are supposed to be, and if you do this, that, and the other, you're not a real man. You know, and that's a problem that a lot of black men fight with, is the whole "you're not a real man" concept, because a lot of us unfortunately come up without a father or a big brother or an uncle or someone to show us how to be a real man. And so we go out and we emulate all these things that we see and we think are cool. And you know, if you know, everybody you see on TV and in the videos and you know, in the movies and whatnot is going around, you know, being disrespectful and violent and all that stuff, you're like, damn, maybe that's what I'm supposed to be like, you know, maybe, you know, that's real, you know, he a real nigga, blah, blah, blah. And it's terrible, you know, we can't, for example, I was raised to, you know, be very respectful to people in general, but especially, you know, women. And it was one point, I held the door for somebody, and what's it called? It was, you know, you ever hold the door for somebody and they be kind of far, so you sitting there waiting, like, all right, like that awkward distance where you don't know if you should hold it or keep walking.
Yeah.
So I was holding the door, and one of my mans, he's like, yo, what you doing? You're nice ass, blah blah blah. I was like, this nigga just came at me for being polite, like, he's like, oh, come on, they can open the door their damn self. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sitting here holding the door, like, you know, hypermasculinity is just, it's terrible for us, you know, because it reflects on everything that we do.
I think hypermasculinity does more bad than good. I feel like it's something that black men feel as if they have to portray in order to come off as tough or strong and independent and all this other stuff. And I feel like they don't necessarily have to prove themselves or act a certain way in order to, you know, be who they are. I think it puts up a barrier for them that they feel as if they can't show emotion, that they can't just try to be open-minded in a lot of things. And I think it definitely hurts communication with other black men or black women and just people in general.
I think hypermasculinity does more good or bad. I don't think it's bad nor good. I don't think it's something that's neither good or bad. It's something that just it's not even really a black thing. I think it's just a male thing, male instincts in general. So I wouldn't view it as a bad or good thing. Now there are certain bars that you can reach that will extend it. Like if they said too much of anything is bad for you. So I think if you can keep a balance to it, then it's great. Because at the end of the day, you're a male. You got to be somewhat masculine. You know, you got to show off that manliness of yourself. So I don't think it's a bad thing in my opinion.
I think that over hyper masculinity leads to negative effects because it leads to competition amongst black men and a will and a need to be better than the other black men rather than just, I guess, seeing each other as equal. You always want to be better.
I think hypermasculinity is bad for that same reason. At least unnecessary competition. You're always trying to outdo somebody else. You're always trying to be better than somebody else.
I think hypermasculinity does more bad for black men because I think I think honestly to get your point across or your views across, you have to have a certain amount of vulnerability, and if you don't if you don't open up and be vulnerable, then nobody understands you.
The black, I think we do continue the cycle of self-hate, but again, it's unintentional. We don't know. People don't know that they are their worst enemy. So I don't think that it's a conscious decision. It's a survival. It's a way of surviving. That's just been inbred in certain people. They don't know another life outside of that. So yes, they're gonna constantly devalue themselves in order to gain upper hand. So it's just I think it's just an unconscious cycle that's been going on for ages, and that's just been constantly going on, and it's been going on in the world.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I was about to say hell yeah. Self-hate definitely because and part of it I think that goes back to environment. I actually was just reading an article today that talked about young adolescent teens. I'm from the Baltimore area, and young adolescent teens in East Baltimore are in a worse mental state and kind of environment than adolescent teens in Nigeria. And you might say, well, wait a second, Nigeria is in Africa, Baltimore is still in America, but it has to do with a whole mindset of self-hate. They were saying that kids in Nigeria, even though they are in worse conditions, since they love themselves more in their environment, they don't paint a picture that looks as gloomy, so they're able to lift each other up and get out. Whereas black men in America that are in impoverished and bad environments see it as, well, we in a living hell, we never gonna get out, so why even try to do anything? I'm not smart, I'm not intelligent, my friend's not smart, he's not intelligent, so why even try to go to school? Why try to become a doctor? I feel like I can't do that. So that image of self-hate leads to a whole bunch of self-destructive things: drugs, violence, sexual assault and abuse, and just deteriorating yourself mentally. So I definitely feel like we as black men greatly contribute to our detriment with our self-hate.
Yeah, black men are expected to be, well, I think like most societies now, men are the ones who are looked up to. You know, they're expected to be, protectors and providers and stuff like that. And when we don't even, value ourselves as black men, we can't do for our women and children, stuff like that. When we just show that we just don't care about things, there are a lot of people, I'm down for whatever, blah blah blah. Oh, he looked at me the wrong way, go drop him, like, stuff like that. There's no reason to do a lot of the things that our young black men do, other than to prove your,
how hard you are.
But yeah, it's no, like, we don't realize that we have no one to prove ourselves to. Just as easily as, I could clown somebody for the shoes he got on his feet. I could, maybe bring them into my circle. You know, I see somebody get made fun of. It's like, yo, you know, don't that's not cool. Like my man can't afford it. You know, I've never been a clothes person personally, and I just never really cared about them. That was something that used to happen to me, like middle school and high school. Like, you know, oh, what's on your feet, boy? Blah blah. I'm like, that's like, you know, there's no reason for stuff like that. Like, exactly, like, you know, we wanna look. For some reason, we want to look so hard for each other. Like, I don't really give a shit if I'm impressing you and your squad. Like, but a lot of us don't
Being
think
hard
that.
don't get you success.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like that whole self-hate thing. Like, why do you have to prove that you're better than the next black dude? Whatever, blah blah. Like, we don't uplift as a community.
It stresses me out because your ass. You talk to a whole bunch of black men who have been in jail for a while, still in jail, maybe have got out, that they'll tell you that being hard and cool shit is for the birds.
It's for the
bro.
fuck.
They'll tell you that. They'll be like, yo, you running around doing all this shit, you really are going to end up in here just like me. And then you're going to be mad as shit.
Special, like,
looking back like, damn, that didn't do anything for me. This self-hate type shit didn't do anything for me.
There's a lot of internal stuff too, because like for example, it's like a little. We say it jokingly. You know, your boys are, oh, you the man. Oh, blah blah. You just, nah, I ain't shit. Blah blah. And you say it jokingly, but at the same time, you keep saying, nah, I ain't shit. Nah, I ain't shit. And you really start to believe that.
You ain't shit.
Then like say you fail at something you really wanted to do, or you don't get the job you wanted or something, and you really think, damn, I really ain't shit. You know, and that it eats away at us, and we don't even notice it. And you know, y'all have seen the movie Juice.
Yeah.
And Tupac was at Q Locker, and he was like, you know what? I am crazy. I ain't shit.
And I don't give
And he's like, and I'm more of a man than you. So as soon as I decide that you ain't shit, bang. I was like, yo, a lot of people think that way. Like,
truthfully.
You know, that we don't value our lives. Like, you know, the breaths we take every day. So yeah, we are big contributors to all that self-hate.
I think black men do contribute. I feel like they do contribute because they're not doing everything that is possible to make it better. But I feel like that's life. I mean, you're not going to have everybody that's squared away. You're not going to have everybody that's trying to do the right thing. In every race, you're going to have people that's doing the wrong thing. But I feel like being black, you have to be more careful and more cognizant of the fact that no matter what we do, good or bad, no matter what we do, it's going to be looked at under a microscope, and they're going to try and find bad in everything that we do, no matter how good it is.
I think black men can show that there's more to them than what they have been represented as. I definitely think that they can start opening up more and talking about, you know, what they've gone through and what, you know, they want to do in order to change the views that they have. I think that it's important for them to also teach other black people that they're amazing and that they are more than what people say about them, and that they are definitely unique and amazing in everything.
Black men can get their education in order to stop the cycle of self-hate. Education, knowledge and education will pretty much open your eyes to a lot of things that is just being closed off to us. And this is a person speaking from a 20-year-old who's just started reading books and just opened up my eyes to a lot of things in this world. So definitely education. Education and knowledge is key to it all.
I think black men can, to stop the cycle of self-hate. I think black men can be good fathers to their kids, be a good mentor. First of all, be a good person yourself, and then pass that down through generation.
We can stop the cycle of self-hate by putting us all together as one black race, putting us equal and all united rather than separating us from dark skin and light skin.
I think what we can do to stop the cycle of self-hate is, I guess we could all just, like basically what he said, you know, stop the light skin and dark skin. But honestly, I feel like if we stop labeling each other as different races, white, black, Indian, you know, like probably racism would stop. But that's it.
I think black people, in order to stop the cycle of self-hate, they could start doing what they know is right. I mean, I know that's not a simple thing to do, but when you sit down and you think about an act before you do it, and you think about the consequences of you doing it, or you think about the consequences of it after you do it, and if the consequences, outweigh the act, then maybe you shouldn't do it whatsoever.
Goes back to what you said. Instead of ragging on people about their clothes, who cares? Like, I know when I got here, I saw, like, where we from, we would clown on people wearing like jean shorts and Air Force Ones. And I got here and I saw people wearing jean shorts and Air Force Ones, and I'm saying, like, these clown niggas, like, what do y'all got on? But then as I got older, it's like, as you stay in college and you look around, none of that matters. What matters is, like you said, uplifting each other. So instead of ragging on people about their clothes, ask each other how their day is going. Be cordial. Say hello. Everybody don't gotta mean mug each other. Throw a smile to somebody's way every now and then. As far as uplifting each other, don't be quick, or to make better for black men, don't be quick to like fight and stuff like that. Like you said, everything ain't always what it seems. And then we'll fight over little stuff, like you stepped on my shoes, or you was looking at my girl. Well, for all you know, he didn't even know that was your girl. It's another girl in the party. Like, you let him know, hey man, like, don't do this with me, like, chill out. A lot of times people be like, oh, all right, my bad, I ain't know. So it just boils down to honestly doing the opposite of what we've been doing the whole time. And also, we should go back into our communities and lift each other up. Like you were saying, like an example of somebody who doesn't really do that is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, so many young black men look up to Michael Jordan.
He don't fuck with us.
We throw all this money into Michael Jordan, get buying his shoes, his clothes, his jersey, stuff like that. And Michael Jordan really don't give back to the community that much at all.
He does not fuck with us.
Positive influences that more black men should be like, I feel like, are the Tyler Perrys and Ludacris's. Like Ludacris in Atlanta, he has, on Labor Day, he has Luda Day, where he does a whole bunch of charity basketball games with celebrities to give money into the city, donates money to schools, talks about being a positive role model to young black men. Tyler Perry does the same exact thing. So I think it really boils down to just really doing the opposite of what we're doing right now.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah. Hey, this is my last one and I'm going home. I drop more calls than balls and hoes throats. Debating on Twitter about what's love and emote. What's a club, shitty goat. Lusting over women, niggas rarely get the poke. With all this dick sucking, when do niggas get the smoke? Skip them niggas past the blunt my way. I ride around the city slow, bumping merry-go by my nigga Black. Remember that, use your own flows, my nigga, and quit the rental raps. I stay up late night to get these verses off. Don't send me a link, I won't retweet, nigga, it's always personal water. Make the whole city a nag.